Collective. What's up? I just got off work. I'm at home and I want to do some love readings. You know why? Especially the love readings. Because when I'm outside, I can see everyone talking to each other without saying a word. Actually, most people don't talk to each other at all. When I'm outside, I try to watch them and I see that most are on their phone. But there's always an eye. They're always keeping an eye out for Selena. The Queen of Wands. People are attracted to each other. We have Justice. No, not Justice. Why did I say Justice? There's something not being balanced, I guess. We have Judgment coming out in the reverse, though. So let me finish my thought before I move on to the tarot, because I knew I already know I might need a part 2 for this. People are attracted to each other. I can tell. People are outside, they want to talk. You can tell that people are interested in the things they've bought, the things they adorn themselves with. People are interested in conversation, in connection, but they have a hard time actually doing that. They are very shy. A lot of people have social anxiety and they yearn for guidance when it comes to making connection. It's like we're not taught how to talk to each other properly. We're taught to make profit in more ways than one. So get good grades, have a resume basically from the very moment you're born. Actually, they even check they check you into the little boxes, not to get too deep or whatever, even though everything is that deep when you know how to swim. But yeah, King of Pentacles. There's what I'm hearing, and I don't want to always talk about this. It's like every reading nowadays. But the masculine in all of us is depleted, confused, and very aggressive. Untempered, and lonely. More than anything, the masculine energy in all of us is very lonely. The Queen of Wands, it's like the feminine has to do more than she can handle. So at one point she just decided to not do anything for the whole, but just for herself. This is, by the way, in everyone, in every single person. That's why conversation between us is so hard. There's some imbalance here. We have Judgment in the reverse, like I said. So it's like a disruption between all of us. We want to connect, and it makes it hard because we don't know if we're the enemy or a friend. We don't even understand like our standing is what I'm hearing. I don't want to get too deep into it. I want to get back into your reading. I've already been talking for like 3 minutes now, but it's love. It's love, okay? The love that surrounds you, the love that you find in relationships, the love that you find in family. There's an imbalance when it comes to this love. It's like a disappointment. You've expected more, like you were promised more, is what I'm hearing. When it comes to connecting, just a second. Sorry, that was my cat. 333 on the timer though. So the collective I'm channeling, as well as the people I've noticed outside today and in general, there's a certain disappointment because it feels like we were promised more in love. Growing up, a lot of you might have felt like this would have been a more regular part of your life. The way it was portrayed in the media, you were almost forced to watch, to consume. You imagined the years that you are currently experiencing, because I just saw an age getting a call, so just give me a second. I saw age range from 15 to 65, so just right. So I just got a call, so I feel like I'm on the right track here. Every time I get interrupted, except when I really have to stop the reading, I take it as a confirmation. Again, disappointment in love, feeling like you were promised more for this era or in life that you're experiencing right now. I'm channeling a collective that is very lonely. And of course, not everyone feels this way, by the way. There's the lucky ones among us, but even they have to deal with these issues, with this imbalance, in different ways, is what I'm hearing. But in any case, you need something to celebrate. You need something to connect you again. You're craving community. You're craving connection. It's hard to deal with all of this by yourself, is what I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing that you might feel a little bit weak for even craving this connection. With the Nine of Wands in the reverse, though, a lot of the people I'm channeling, as well as myself, and a lot of the energies that I see on the outside. I was talking about this in another reading I did. When you want love in life, you always have to deal with loss of love. So there's a shadow side to all the goodness that you want in life that was sold to you. And oftentimes when you watch these fairy tales, when you watch these Hallmark movies, the rom-coms and whatnot, they only ever show you the anticipation before a relationship, and then right the moment when you get into a relationship. But no one ever talks about what happens after. What is that happily ever after that people talk about? What does that entail? What does that look like? It's not as exciting, and it's not as romantic as the anticipation right before the climax. Everything before that is always almost as good as the climax, but everything after that is usually a little bit disappointing. And I think in the society, we live in a society, in the times we find ourselves in right now, it's kind of hard to maintain certain emotions. We have 6 seconds videos, or like the dopamine hits that we get every day are like akin to, I guess, drug addict in the 1800s, right? That's just our regular day to day. So I'm guessing a lot of you might be disappointed in what love actually looks like, but that's an age-old issue that we've been dealing with as humans, as the collective. 0707 on the timer, I just saw it. I'm not sure which philosopher talked about this. It might have been Plato, the world of ideas. An idea is always better when it stays in the world of ideas, so in your imagination, and when you actually implement it in real life, it always looks more beautiful and retains its essence. But as soon as you speak it out loud and you express that idea, it becomes something different entirely. And I think that's what love is, and I think you are disappointingly realizing that these days. Also, the people around me, this feels like growing up. This feels like getting out of a fantasy that you've been stuck in. But exactly, I don't want to disappoint, like, affirm your disappointment, because I have the opposite right here. Art imitates life. There will always be romance out there. There will always be someone that gets over their fear of speaking, that gets over their social anxiety, that gets over these boxes that we've been we have been being put in. We have been put in since we entered this world, this 3D realm. There's always going to be someone that takes a chance. There's always going to be a fool in love that talks to you, that talks to the person they want, and takes a chance on this connection. They will act very quickly. They won't let their mind think them into disappointment, think them into giving up on love. They're gonna follow like heart and head. It's funny enough, this is the Knight of Swords, so it's very heady, but it's impulsive. It's impulsive, jumping at the first idea that you get into your head, which is most of the time guided by your heart. Yes, 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 yes. There's something about communication coming up here. So maturing. A lot of y'all, including myself, a lot of us, we have to get over shame dictating our expression. We have to let shame be itself without influencing us too much. We have to realize the difference between awareness and ego. Ego is very important, so we fulfill our roles, so we play our identities, but it stands in the way. It puts limitations on us. Our awareness is a little bit smarter. That is your higher self, but actually even more than that, that is you as spirit, basically. And I think we need to let spirit lead the conversation. See you in part 2.